Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm at Taman Dedari here in Ubud, Bali. There's a Bali Flora festival happening right now. It's organized by the Bali plant community. I'm going to insert their Instagram on the screen in case you want to give them a follow. So I happen to be traveling in Sumba and transiting in Bali. So I figured I'll stop over the event, and surprisingly a lot of people are here, a lot of really prominent people in the plant community. There's actually a lot of plant booths here, and this is a gorgeous restaurant. So I'm going to insert some B-roll on the screen so you know what the restaurant looks like, and I'm going to insert it throughout the video because this place is stunning. It's covered in these gigantic statues that is uniquely Balinese, but also the landscaping here is phenomenal. There's all manners of plants here used throughout in the waterscaping and vertical gardening. Unfortunately, we're not going to get into the landscaping here because I really want to focus on the booths. So these are mostly vendors from Bali, so they're Bali houseplant collectors and Bali sellers showcasing their products. So this might be a little bit different from what we're used to seeing in Java. Java is the continent or the island where I live in. So Bali is in a separate island. So yeah, the culture here is a little bit different. The houseplant community here is a little bit different. So we're gonna explore that right now. So we'll start here and Mia Hambali's booth here. And she's one of the organizers of this market, and her dad is Greg Hambali, and he hybridizes aglaonemas, and this is, I guess, some of his work. Ini punya Pak Greg ya?
Lisa, ya.
Namanya Lisa?
Yang ini Mahardika. Mahardika.
Mahardika?
Ini Lisa, yang ini Harlequin.
And Harlequin. And this is your own work, yeah? Down below.
Yeah,
this
Anthurium.
is Dressleri and Dorayaki hybrid. And there's some here. This is Warraquenum dark and dark narrow.
Yes.
Hybrid, yeah. But not hybrid. It's same species, different form.
Okay, seperti si cross lah.
Yeah. And this is a Thaumatophyllum.
Thaumatophyllum hybrid.
Yeah. Variegated. Yeah. And then this is Vitarifolium X Chapa Sensei. You can see here. I don't even know what Chapa Sensei is actually. Wow.
Yeah, it's an Anthurium.
Okay, we'll Google it.
Yeah.
But it's got the Vitarifolium characteristic, strong.
Yeah, and also it's thicker because Chapa Sensei is thick.
Okay.
And this one is Vitarifolium X Warraquenum.
Oh, wow. Do you have a bigger one back home?
No, not yet because I'm still growing it. I mean, I'm still waiting for it to show the mature form.
Yeah.
And this one is a selfing product. So, this Vitarifolium, it's a species.
Yeah. Vitarifolium variegated by itself.
Okay.
Down here, this is the Dressleri and red crystal, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, look at the beautiful red showing up, yeah. And up here you have the Java
here
Beauty.
We have the Java Beauty series.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like these ones. Just like these ones here.
Yeah, but this is the baby.
Yeah, the babies.
And this is the adult. How long to take to get to this size?
Okay.
3 years?
No, more than that. Around 4 to 5 years. Wow. It depends on how often you repot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apart from the Thaumatophyllum hybrids, I have the species of common burlemax variegated, and they are the more affordable items because sometimes people ask why are your products not so affordable. So I should also have something that is affordable for people who are still new in the market.
Yeah, I actually see this a lot in Bali now. After the pandemic, they're everywhere. They're big in many restaurants.
Grows easily. That's why it's so affordable because it's not rare.
Yeah, easy to propagate, easy to grow, and the variegation is quite stable. Yeah. As long as it's bright. I remember if it's dark, it becomes green.
Sometimes when you want to have the variegated ones more vivid, brighter, you need more light. Sun exposure. This one. In the middle, this is our flagship item. Yeah. This is Angela. Yeah. Angela is a hybrid of Goldie Eye.
Yeah.
X William C.
Yeah. It's got the Goldie Eye look.
Yeah, because the lobes of the hat. You can see here. The lobes.
Oh, beautiful shot here. Yeah. This setup is quite lovely here. It's a mixture of paintings and a few driftwoods. And Balinese are a little bit more attuned with their visual styling than people in Java because they appreciate art forms, they're just creative. If you look at the daily morning rituals, they do display this as a respect to their gods every single day in every place that you go to. So they have huge respect for the natural, flowers and the natural form, and everything is effortless here in terms of beauty. And look at this Florida ghost here. But there's a terracotta pot vendor here, and there's all manners of plant care products in here. And Bali is also a producer of terracotta pots, by the way. There's a lot of makers here. How cute is that? A lot of the roofs here are actually made with terracotta, and a lot of the old-timey like coffee mugs and things like that. So people have been using terracotta for a very long time in Bali. Will you look at that? This is just such a beautiful space. This is heaven on earth. And that is the lobby there, and this is where I guess there's a hotel downstairs. So I guess this is where the hotel guests would be having their breakfast. And look at the view. So if you see this little roofs, those probably the villas of the hotels. But this is the view. How wonderful is that? I cannot believe this place is not crazy hyped up. This is insane. And there's more statue over there. The statues are actually very, very tall. They're probably about, I don't know, 25, 30 meters tall. Here are some variegated monsteras. They are actually in huge supply now, although the price hasn't really crashed yet. It's still pretty much stable. It is difficult to find one with really good variegation. So I guess this is why they really held their value compared to the green form of plants. And they're not as fast growers. And this is a cool little fern. They put out fronds like this, and they are epiphytically stuck on trees. But this one is variegated. I've seen many of the green forms. They're actually kind of invasive. They just appear out of nowhere. But I don't know, these variegated ones are just so cool. In nature, this would not have survived. It would have been outcompeted by the green counterparts. And this is a really beautiful palm. Look at the color on the leaves. I guess this reflects light really nicely from up above. And I don't know, maybe one of the survival mechanism for this, it looks like it's diseased, so animals don't really munch on these. It's a Thaumatophyllum here. They're actually quite nice when variegated. When you have a big garden and for landscaping, this is really, really awesome. But for now, the variegated ones are very, very expensive because not many people have it yet. This looks like it's a peace lily. I don't know which variety this is. But it is huge. Look at the leaves here. And the variegation is so beautiful. I really love peace lilies. They really soothe me because they're so easy to grow. And then they do flower. This is Mantic Bali's booth. We did stop by his plant store in the last episode. Here's a gloriosum. I think this is the white veins. We did show some of this. This is a beautiful syngonium actually. I don't know which one this is, but it's quite nice. Look at the spots here. The Chia Penzi, variegated. So Mantic Bali is really, really famous here for their rare plants. Check out the previous episode on the channel if you want to see what they look like. There's a Patriciae there, not easy to care for. And there's some philodendrons down here. This is an Anthurium, this is chubby. This is probably a Verrucosum. This is probably a Veitchii hybrid if you look at the six pack there, but it's very chubby and stumpy. This is probably a Rhaphidophora. I think this is a Megasperma. I don't know why these guys never really took off. A few collectors do have them here and they're actually very expensive, but Rhaphidophoras are actually very easy to grow. They're fast growers. But yeah, they never really took off. I don't really know why. This is a cool little alocasia. It doesn't look like it's got Zebrina petiole, but it's got really weird texture on the leaves. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if this says. It doesn't have an ID, so I don't know, but this is small. This is a small alocasia. This is really, really curious. Look at the veins. How sexy is that? And then these are little baby colocasias. I think the white lava, but I could be wrong. And this is another alocasia that is really, really weird. It's still got that Zebrina pattern on the petiole, but look how funky this is. Yeah, I don't know what these are. And there are a lot of tillandsias here. I'm not really going to get really close up to them. We've covered a lot of tillandsias in my Bangkok videos. Here are some platycerium. I don't know what these guys are. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. There's a background music happening now. But this is quite beautiful. Look at how majestic this is. Bali has quite a strong platycerium community here, I heard. Although I've not really met too many people. But I think platycerium is very, very underrated. And back there, this is the Ridleyi. And I also heard that this is actually one of the harder ones to keep alive. I don't really know why. I will definitely want to pick up one of these at some point. They are not cheap to come by. Baby Syngonium, this is quite cute. I think this is a tricolor. Look at how small the leaves are. Up here we have a cacti and succulent vendor. Look at how cute these guys are. Look at all the little clumps. This is actually very tiny if you look at this. And this is only 25,000. This is a very, very good price. Extremely good price. I'm really, really tempted to bring this home. Look at how cute this is. I've seen this in Bangkok, in my Bangkok plant tour video, but look at that, how small this is. This is my finger for reference, and this is Mammillaria. I can't remember the genus exactly, but this is 75,000. For this, look at that, it's always flowering, this genus. And the flower looks like this, like crowns on their heads. And then this is a Hoya, I think, variegated Hoya. I'm not sure what variety this is. How nice, they actually form really cute clumps. And then you can separate the clumps. This is stinking cute. This is a Drosera? I can't remember. But how beautiful, look at that, it's a flower, it's flowering now. Look at the chubby stem. I need to get into this plant because I don't have one yet. I have not experienced with this. But look at how beautiful the flowers are. I really am very curious. Whoa, someone dropped something. But I'm really curious about this. Look at just how interesting the form is. It looks like aliens. And I believe these are the babies of those. There's some Opuntias back there. Some Hornias, Stapelias. Interesting. Actually, I don't know. These guys really, they grab my eye. They really capture my attention and my heart. And really good price, 50K for 3 pieces. Oh, it's actually very difficult to bring back plants because Java and Bali are 2 separate islands. So you actually do need some kind of an import and export. Not a permit, but maybe like I don't know what it is, like a farm, like you have to declare things and maybe even quarantine things. But I'm not sure because I've never tried. I haven't even bothered trying. But this is really, really cute. Look at this visual interest right here. Wow. And there's all manners of interesting succulents here. And by the way, everyone's just setting up. I'm here a bit early because normally in Indonesia, the events are very loud. So I got here early to avoid the crowd, to avoid the screaming of the MC. Look at this clump right here. I don't know what this is. This is like a bromeliad. I don't know, an aloe maybe? I'm not sure, but it's very small. Look at my finger as for comparison. And there are all manners of really interesting plants here that grow out of this. And this is also very, very precious. Look at the form on this. I don't know what this is. It doesn't label what it is. I really think plant sellers should always label everything. I don't know, that's just me. I think it's important to name everybody and for the buyers to know what they're getting into so they can Google up how to care for. This is variegated Stapelia, I think. This is quite something, you guys. And they flower really beautifully. And I love the sun, how it's hitting them right now at an angle. This little Opuntia is so cute. So cute. So I'm gonna leak a little bit about what I'm working on now. I'm actually working on a project now, a marketplace, because I've closed down my store. And I realized that there is a broken supply chain system here in Indonesia. So I'm trying to, I don't want to say the word fix it because I'm not like a hero in a white shiny armor on a horse. But I'm here to kind of provide some ideas and solutions to the existing issues. So I wanted everyone to kind of go back to their genus, because over the pandemic, everyone just, look at this, is so beautiful. Everyone just started rushing into aeroids. This is why the aeroid prices went sky high really fast, and then they come down really fast as well. Because everything that goes up fast will come down very fast as well. So I'm trying to get everyone to be interested in different genus of plants, carnivorous, orchids, bromeliads, anything, right? Because I believe everybody's living situation and everybody's passion actually truly lies within a genus. For example, mine is with Dischidia. I really love them. Hoya people should just focus on Hoyas. So that is what I'm trying to build in the next step of my, look at how cute this one is. I'm trying to build a marketplace to enable the local growers to grow specific genuses, and I want them to be grown with passion and with specialization. That is the key, specialization. So I don't want to see a booth like this selling a Monstera or a variegated aeroid or whatsoever. They should really do things that they love, and you can tell from this booth here that they really are focused on their genus, on the type of plant, and they really love it. And when that happens, you can actually grow them at a scale that is cost effective, and this is how you can get them to be really cheap and affordable. And this is how more people will get into houseplants, because the next step in houseplants is not to jack up prices, it's not to brag about how rare things are, but rather to just be passionate about the genus that you love. What kinds of plants will look good in your space, that will live well in your space, that will bring you joy, that will grow, the plants that will grow big. Look at this, is so beautiful. And these rocks here, this is really something. Yeah, I saw this in the Bangkok plant market, but I'm surprised we have passionate people here in Indonesia. Look at this clump right here. And this clump right here, oh my. I'm a killer for these because I overwater things. I know I mentioned it many times. This is trying to flower, I think. I do overwater things. And that is a habit that I have not been able to break. And here are some more aeroids. This is the Paraiso Verde, Plomanii, Berlamox variegated. A lot of these are becoming very affordable now. I would say that they have become pre-pandemic prices even. And with so many supplies being not purged, but yeah, I guess you could say purged. Being purged in the market now, people are letting go of things. Now it's really a good time to buy. And there's a lot of interesting variegated plants that are coming also in the market. And those are still expensive because not a lot of people have them. This is the strawberry shake. Strawberry shake. Florida Beauty. There are a lot of them coming into the market. So at some point, I think everybody will be able to afford these. This is by Panifolium variegated. Look at how beautiful this variegated Adansonia is. It's almost like a tricolor on the leaves. There's the white, there's the light green, and there's also the dark green on these. And a lot of anthuriums are coming in from Indonesia, a lot of hybrids. I don't know if they, yeah, it doesn't, it's papillilaminum hybrid. It just says that, it doesn't say what it is. So this is probably our #1 export right now, which is anthuriums. Pharaoh's masks, this is the colocasia, and this is the white lava. And I can never tell what this is. This is the limeate, lime gecko, or the mojito. I always have to Google before I find out which one. This is another variety. I always have to Google to see which one it is. I can't memorize everything. This is the Scindapsus coriaceus variegated. It's actually easy to grow, very, very fast growing Scindapsus, and look at how beautiful it is. It is very, very, very epiphytic. It wants to climb. You cannot let the Scindapsus trail. It just doesn't want to do it. But I love the variegation. It's quite unique in that it looks like the Epipremnum aureum, where the variegation is a little bit creamy. Now there's a lot of Epipremnums coming in Indonesia. They're being discovered, different varieties. I'm not sure what these are, but I saw this yesterday. It says it's the Epipremnum pinnatum Hyang Api. And Bali is known for the Hanuman, which I showed in the last episode. Look at all them, they're just so happy. They're all like sweating water out. Like the Epipremnum Hanuman, which is very, very famous in Bali, was discovered here, which is actually all just Epipremnum pinnatums. But then they just have different varieties. This is called the Epipremnum pinnatum white mint. Look how beautiful the variegation is actually. And this one is interesting too. This is a little bit smaller. How cool. And yeah, a lot of them are actually discovered here in Bali somehow. And this is a variegated piper. It's like a yellow variegated ones. I don't know if many of you are into pipers or not, but pipers are actually quite awesome. There's so many varieties of them. There's pink ones, there is like the white variegated ones. There's ones that are very suede and velvety. Do look them up in case that you're trying to find something that is interesting. And pipers are very, very fast growing as well. This is probably some kind of Homalomina. That new leaf unfurling, how cute. Yeah, this is a beautiful variegated one. And Homalominas, they have this nice, what do you even call this, fold on the leaves that is very, very elegant, in my opinion. Jose Buono. Really recommend this actually for beginners. They can display different forms of leaves, different variegations, and easy to care for, forgiving, and they don't need bright light to maintain their variegation. Here's a very, very dense biliatai. It's a very happy biliatai. Look at that. It's grown like quite beautifully actually. Very, very dense and thick. It must be getting really good conditions where it was grown before. Here they're just setting up, but this is aeroid hustlers. And this is what they're launching in this event, which is the Anthurium Boogie, Boogie, I have to make sure. But it is a cross between the Anthurium crystallinum hybrid, which has like a ruffle, but they say it's probably the Bethii. And the mother plant is the papillilaminum X1. Here, to simplify, here are the parent plants. These are the photos. This is the, I guess this is the father, and this is the mother, because it was grown on the papillilaminum. Very interesting, beautiful form on the papillilaminum here. It's X1. Yeah, and if you look up close at the father, if you look at the edges of the leaves, they are actually a little bit wavy, a bit curly. So this is what the babies look like. They have like a papillilaminum with a crystallinum characteristics, but look at the ruffles. This is what is interesting here. They do not have the mature form yet because this is still the first batch that they're making. But yeah, look at how cute this is. Just basically a anthurium with ruffles for visual interest. This is a larger one, slightly larger variety. How interesting is that? Look at that. Yeah, and it's got some of the leaves like this one. It's darker. This is the new leaf, so it's still lighter, but they become dark like this. And as grown from seedlings, they all will exhibit slightly different characteristics from one another. And this is something that I mentioned a lot on the channel. So I hope that these guys will do well in their launch of this product. Next up, we have an Aglaonema booth. Without some guide here, I don't actually know all the names. There's so many varieties of them, but I'm going to quickly show you some of the interesting ones here. They have such a nice pop of color and they're so easy to grow, and aglaonemas do really, really well indoors as long as you don't overwater it. They do need bright indirect light for them to keep. This is putting out an inflorescence here, not a leaf. Yeah, so they're very easy to care for actually, surprisingly. Yeah, underrated plant. Look at how beautiful and intricate the pattern on these are. And every leaf is different. If you look up close, every leaf looks different. I don't really like aglaonemas in a clump like this. Like if you put this in your home, you don't want to put aglaonema on aglaonema. I think you really do want to kind of space them out a bit, put a few regular green plants in between them. And let them pop amongst the other foliage. And actually, this is how you would buy aglaonemas. You would buy them in one branch like this. But eventually, if you care for them correctly, they become this. They all become this. You can prune them. Watch my videos if you want to learn how to care for it. But when you prune them, they get bushy. This is how they look in nature, in the wild, and how they should look in your home. But when you buy them, invariably, they just look like this. And it will take them no time. It'll take them maybe a year or two to just get to that size. And that is aglaonema goals right there. Look at this. This is even putting out babies already from the bottom. So in the bottom shoots, they will put out side branches. And then, yeah, this is just how they bush out. If you want them to bush out even faster, you can nip off the top growth, so you release it of its apical dominance, and then the bottom part will put out shoots. Or you can propagate, you can just chop them up and stick them all back into the same soil and wait a year, and then you'll get a very, very bushy and beautiful aglaonema. These red ones are beautiful too. These are crimson red color. Not a Jaipong, there's two red ones. One is a Jaipong Soksum, the other one, I can't remember the name. But aren't they great for like Christmas? Or if you're Asian, if you're Chinese, this is really good for Chinese New Year decorations instead of getting plastic things. Yeah, they do look plastic, by the way. Look at this one. This is beautiful. They look like plastic, but they're in fact real. And they're always, if you look at my tour here, all of them are non-stop. This is unfurling a new leaf. They're all putting out new leaves all the time. So this is what aglaonemas do. And when you have flower buds like this, it is wise to just nip them off so that they can put out big leaves. If you keep this flower here, the next leaf will be small. See, every single pot that you see here, they are unfurling. Aglaonemas, they are fast growers. They grow non-stop for you. So this is why it's very satisfying to have them around. Like if you have an office desk and you just keep some of these next to you, you'll enjoy this every day. You'll slowly see it unfurl day by day. You'll see a new leaf every 3 weeks or 2 weeks or so. Yeah, I don't know. I could keep rambling on about aglaonemas. They're just so underrated. I keep mine outdoors so they keep getting overwatered by the rain and they just keep dying. But once I move, I will try to keep them indoors and I'll try to care for them correctly. Look at this. This is multiple vines in there. So many beautiful ones. Look at this one here. I'm gonna quickly pass by this booth, the Thai Constellation variegated Monstera, some Begonia maculata. It's refreshing to see them after they've disappeared for a while. They used to be very popular on Instagram. This is a nice pot of Syngonium here. A huge Brandtianum Philodendron. That's a dragon, I think, Philodendron dragon. This is a beautiful fern. This is a beautiful palm here. Look at the variegation on that. And some flowering Anthuriums here. A lot of big specimens of Anthuriums in Indonesia. And particularly where I am now, there's actually a lot of growers. This Colocasia babies. Where I am now, this is mountainous region. This is the high latitude in Ubud in Bali. And Anthuriums love it here. It's cooler here, it's higher elevation, the humidity is still pretty high, and the land here is very, very fertile. This is only 50,000 for one of these Colocasias. And I think over the pandemic, a lot of people figured out what kind of plant care works for them. People tried out different kinds of fertilizers, and I guess a lot of people have started their own brands of plant care products. This cool little Buddha pot here with the burle marks. Variegated. This is a cool little aglaonema. I think this is the rotundum hybrid or something, but look at the little weird splotches. It's as if someone made a mistake and dripped paint all over them. This is new to me. But the base of this plant, one of the parentage, is definitely the rotundum, which is the pink striped aglaonemas, but the pink stripes are normally straight, like a very rigid line. But these guys are squiggly. Look at the lines there. It's like someone got drunk and didn't know how to draw a straight line. This is a very interesting aglaonema. Super, super interesting. I don't know why things like this call out to me, but they do. Sorry, I'm gonna keep on going about aglaonemas. When the light hits them just right, look at that. This is from the back. It's so beautiful. They can get morning direct light and they do appreciate it. They love it. Look at that. It looks like a lightsaber. But when you look at them sometimes from down below, look at the petiole sometimes. It's like, it can be like translucent. It is truly a beautiful genus. A lot of people have commented to ask how I make my moss poles. Here's the thing, I never have to because they're available here in abundance. There's many, many types. These are the ones that you could actually just put like either moss in there, or you could put cocoa chips or something and let them climb up. But these are so inexpensive here that I would never have to make my own. So yeah, I've never made my own moss pole. So there you go. There's an Anthurium cabinet here, and this is getting quite popular, this style of growing Anthuriums. So they do get optimal lighting here, and there's humidity. There's a humidifier that came on yesterday, but I guess it's off now. But this is what they love. This booth here, I'm gonna skim through really quickly. This is new to me, it's 100,000 only. I can't remember what this one is. But I really like the lemony leaf here, and then the new leaves come out pink like this, and I'm sure this will turn yellow or neon lemon at some point. This is actually very, very nice. I'm quite fond of this. There is an orchid booth here, and I guess everything is kind of flowering now, which we can appreciate for a little bit. This one has really interesting flowers, but these top flowers hasn't opened up yet. But how beautiful are these flowers? Look at this. Wonderful. And these are just a classic Phalaenopsis, and they're heavily used in Bali for everything, hotels, spas, restaurants. But they're a classic, they're beautiful. And these guys are also very beautiful. There is a huge flower industry here in Bali, like cut flower industry. I think it's a little bit up north in the mountains, and I do hope to visit there someday. It's near the Bali Botanical Garden. So not this trip, but maybe one of the next one. Look how beautiful the form of this flower is. It's so complicated, and every part of the flower has a function, by the way. They have a symbiotic relationship with the pollinator to get to this. They look like birds about to take off. Now here's a platycerium booth. These are already large specimens, and this is also for sale because they did put this up here yesterday. Look at that one over there. And there's wall here of mounted platyceriums. I don't really know the species, but there's quite a lot of them. I'm not good with my platyceriums, but these are some interesting orchids that are grown, hung on driftwoods. I cannot get up close because I'm actually standing on a rock physically right now. Very, very interesting. There's so many species of platyceriums, and they also hybridize somehow. I don't know how they hybridize them because platyceriums are ferns, so they don't really flower. Yeah, interesting. I would really love to know how it's done. How do you get two platyceriums to bone? Yeah, there's more over here. And there are the names. Angolense. These are all just the babies here. Look at the cute baby Ridley eyes. How cute. This is the one I mentioned earlier that are difficult to care for. This is the larger form. They actually really look like deer heads. More than any of the other platyceriums. A lot of orchids again here. I guess this vendor really specialized in mounted orchids and platyceriums. I'm gonna get close up to this one here. This one is actually called out to me. How beautiful is this? The flower is like glossy. And this is also beautiful. I think more flowers are following suit, but this is the first one that's bloomed for us. And the leaves look like this. How cute, it's like chubby leaves. And this one's, I guess a lot of them are actually in flower. This one may be better admired from down below. And this one is so cute. This is the Ridley eye baby. This is my hand for comparison. How cute is that? I really adore these. I'll slowly collect them once I have more time and when I move. I know I keep saying when I move things will change, but it will. It will. I'm kind of stuck in the middle now of my weird transition in my life. But thankful, nonetheless, thankful for the process and the changes and what I'm learning from these processes. There are a few anthuriums here. This is it's a good thing they labeled it. This is the Anthurium papillilaminum X1 seedling. This is 5 million, and it's actually quite nice form here. I can tell that it's going to grow up really beautifully. And this is the Papillilaminum X Crystal Batman. I don't know what that is, but you probably can Google up what the Crystal Batman looks like. Very interesting, dark phoenix here. Yeah, there's so many Anthurium hybrids and there's only one of me, so they really elude me. I cannot catch up with them. There's some what is this? Epipremnum cebu blue aurea. So there, some people say it's called cebu, not cebu. So people correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the yellow variegated Epipremnum cebu blue. How wonderful is this? This is probably I'm gonna guess it's a Rhaphidophora. Sorry, it's a Monstera dubia. I'm wrong. Beautiful, huh? I used to despise their mature form because I really quite like their little leaves. But I stand corrected. This is quite beautiful. They lose the pattern of the younger leaves, so they become this completely glossy and green leaves. It's the Philodendron majestic. Really interesting. Look at how beautiful these leaves are. It looks like kale a little bit. And the form is the classic heart-shaped leaf, but then it's really, really complicated actually. When the light hits it, look at how beautiful it is. And this is the SP Hanuman from Bali. Actually, this booth's name is Tunas Concept. And if I'm not wrong, they're the ones who discovered the Hanuman in the wild. And then the Bali community got together and they named it the Hanuman, which is what it is now. There's another, this is Rhaphidophora foramini Fera SP Bukit Ketam. I guess it's also endemic to Indonesia, but this is the variegated Rhaphidophora. I don't really know what these are, honestly. Probably Rhaphidophora. There's so many of them too. They're coming into the market. Actually, they have been around, kind of, but they're silently taking a back seat, basically, because they're not really, really hyped up. But they should be. They're quite beautiful. When they get huge, their leaves split really beautifully, but we haven't seen many of those around. This is an Epipremnum. I will say probably also the Hanuman, but I could be wrong. We did show a larger specimen in yesterday's tour at the Mantik Bali. This is a Rhaphidophora tenuis silver. Normally their leaves get much bigger than this, but this is actually a beautiful plant, and it really is epiphytic. It wants to climb. This is a gloriosum, and the light is hitting it just right, so it's beautiful now. You can see the pink come through down the center. This is not the regular form of gloriosum. I think dark form, possibly. I think this is the white princess. And I don't know what this is. Sorry, I'm not good with my endemic variegated plants. But this is an Epipremnum. You can tell from the shape of the leaves. There's so many varieties of Epipremnums coming in. This is an interesting Anthurium. And this is a Spathiphyllum. If I'm not, I can't remember what they said it was yesterday. And the guys were here, and I think this is this, not sensation? I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's wonderfully variegated. And I don't have this one. I'm actually want to collect almost every species of peace lilies out there, because I really enjoy having them around. Here we have a cellar with a bit of Hoya here. This is Spartioides. And I killed mine very quickly. This is actually not an easy Hoya. I think people misunderstand the care. So yeah, I really would love to get into it one time. This is a strange looking Hoya. And it's a Hoya Rinte. This is very expensive, 650k. The leaf looks interesting. So I guess this is still a little bit rare, perhaps. And this is interesting. Looks like the Calistophylla. Oh, it is the Calistophylla, 500k. This is expensive for a Calistophylla, but this is not the same as the one that I have. Mine is actually dark green. This one is interesting. It's like a light green color. I don't know what's going on here. This one is in bloom. This is a Hoya bentorensis. I'll Google that. It's 1 million. So expensive. But look at the flower. This is beautiful. I've never heard of this Hoya before, so it's probably new. I'm very excited now, as you can hear from my voice. I am talking too fast when I'm excited. Interesting. One last look at the flowers here. This is the undulata, and this is a very sun-stressed one. Normally they're a little bit dark purple, but this is vibrant red. And this one here is flowering. It says it's the Hoya mitrata. Interesting flowers on these. And this is what the leaves look like. One back there here called the Hoya. Is this a Dekii? Yeah, I think so. Is that what it says? Dekii splash. But look at the shape of the leaf here. And then the flower that's coming out, the peduncle here. How cute is that? Here is a silver lady, and it's just cuttings. And I just want to say, I mean, no offense to anyone, but this is sort of the old way that we sold plants over the pandemic. We would sell them as single leaf. But moving forward, it would be full pots of these, like just cascading down for this price. This is 50,000 for a cutting. But Scindapsus, I think they're relatively easy to propagate. So at some point, the prices will stabilize and we'll start selling big pots of them. And we'll grow them in our homes as decorations instead of as these little collector's pieces. Because they actually grow rather fast. This is a tricolor here. I'm really excited for the next chapter in the plant market. It's going to change very drastically, at least here in Indonesia. I cannot comment on what's happening overseas because I'm not familiar. But over in like the States and in Europe, plants have already been sold in massive pots because people grow them in cost-effective ways, and they're ready to be displayed on tables. And that is, again, something that I'm pushing for here and rooting for in Indonesia. This is a cool forgetii. Look at the line, it's quite intricate here, like a paint stroke that never got finished. Some really cute baby anthuriums here, actually. Just really gonna quickly skim through these. This is a cool little silver blush here. A parent plant that is used for many hybridizations. This is a Homalomina that's variegated. Here's a view from up top. It's quite small. I don't know if this gets big over time. They usually do get bigger, especially if you ground them on the floor rather than keeping them in pots. A lot of Rhapidophoras here. Look at this. This is such a nice display of Rhapidophoras. It's like, get in line, everybody. Here's a view from... Sometimes they're actually quite nice to view from up above. And there's some Scindapsus back there that is beautifully variegated. It's a coriaceous. I don't know what this one is, but this is like half moon. Yeah, so the name of this store is Gallery Plant 23. This is Cercestis mirabilis variegated. I guess that's the last booth that we're gonna quickly look at. But really, I'm quite surprised because I was here yesterday. It's the first day. This is an Anthurium. I was here yesterday and it was actually a little bit quiet. I think more people are arriving here today from Jakarta. A lot of influencers are coming. But I have a feeling that the houseplant demand, especially for aeroids, is waning. And I don't want to be the one to say it out loud. Again, this is the name of the booth here. Yeah, but the market is changing really fast. And I don't know, man. But there's a lot more aeroid suppliers and shops now than there are customers. So there's going to be a shift. I think we won't see this kind of setup for a very long time. I think we'll start seeing a lot more diversity of plants, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm just trying to say what I wish to see. But I also think that naturally people will start gravitating towards, Sansevierias, your bromeliads, there's so many genus to discover. This is a beautiful variegated Anthurium sweet love variegated. There's just so much to discover and to love in this house. Now, this is Epipremnum sp. Sulawesi, I'm reading, but it looks like the Rhaphidophora variegated. How interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly end this with a haiku. I guess haiku is when you just speak your mind off without thinking, of the consequences. But this is going to change. I believe that the market will reform itself after the pandemic. And a lot of people are actually leaving the houseplant community to start traveling, to start going back to their businesses, to visit families and friends. It's bittersweet, actually, because we have to consider, I got into houseplants right before the pandemic. So I think things will get back to that level at some point, but we will end up with more houseplant collectors than before the pandemic, of course. But we're not going to enjoy that kind of prosperity, that kind of rush towards the next aeroid particularly. But I really love to see more of that. happening, more people getting into it. Our next generation kids, for example, if they come to an event like this, sadly we don't have any carnivorous exhibition or a booth happening today in this event. Imagine if there was a carnivorous plant, pitcher plants, dorsetas, and all that stuff happening here, and then kids are getting into it, they're curious, and they picked it up, and this becomes their lifelong hobby and passion and love. That is something that we should do as a plant community. We should get people engaged in different species of plants, get people curious about different species of plants, and diversify from the aeroids that we are kind of used to, and that we're kind of, I don't know, I'm speaking on my behalf, but that we are a bit wary of, because we keep seeing them everywhere, or I am because I'm traveling. I went to Bangkok and now I'm in Bali. I was actually hoping to see a lot more interesting genus represented here. But yeah, so that is my controversial closing sentence. I don't mean to offend anybody or to create any remarks, because there are a lot of aeroid lovers, rightfully so. They're a wonderful genus. Araceae family is huge. Even aglaonemas are in the aeroid family. The ZZ is in the aeroid family. And I did not see any ZZ vendors here too, surprisingly. I saw some in Thailand. It was quite amazing, quite refreshing. But that is what I hope to see. I don't, in the next plant event, hopefully, again, I'm speaking indirectly to people. In the next plant event, I really would love to see people having different genus. So I don't want to see the same Anthurium. I don't want to see the same Monstera in different booths, just at slightly different prices, because that is not a sustainable way to keep this market going here in Indonesia. At least that's what I believe. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. So before I say anything else wrong, I better close this video now. I guess I bid you farewell. Thank you so much. Please insert your thoughts down below in the comment about anything that I've said, especially in the closing remarks. Really love to know your thoughts on that. And to know what is going on in your country too. Let me know if your plant community, your plant market is going through the same kind of transition. And see if you found anything interesting here in this video. It will actually help me out a lot too when you're commenting. You're not only communicating directly with me, because I do read all my comments and I do reply to all of them, but it will also help me boost this video so that more people will view it. Thank you again so much, and I hope that you guys are doing well. Bye bye.